Alright. So played bad, didn't matter, still beat Amulet. Score 1 for the bad guys. Yeah, I mean, this is a good deck. I don't know what else to say. I can see why it's the top deck of the format. And my Amulet opponent, obviously drew very poorly. So that benefited me as well. But I definitely could have played better. But as we saw, I was just to play mediocre. I'm already like basically going to time. So that's basically where we're at right now. Is just learning. I'll keep this. I think this is a nice hand on the draw because there's a good chance that either turn 1 or turn 2 I'll have a good target for one of these removal spells, and then I can go turn 2 Ledger Shredder. We shall see. Really wishing about now that this this deck had a basic mountain in it. I think I'll lead on a Steam Vents, and then I'll fetch a basic island with probably both my fetch lands. Oh, I should have just bolted now, so I wouldn't have to move to discard. Guess I do kind of want to get lands off the top of my deck, though. Expressive Iteration does not seem like the card that's going to get me out of this situation. So I could Ledger Shredder. I think I have to just bolt, though. Bolt, untap, Murktide. Hope that's fast enough. Guess I'll heat rather than bolt, because bolt can go face. Roiling Vortex. Okay. Okay, so I'll fetch a Steam Vents here. And I think I'm going to go bolt face and then play the Murktide, because it'll make it a bigger Murktide. And I'm not so worried about creatures once I'll have Murktide into Ledger Shredder. So the creatures are less of an issue than like just spells. I don't think there's much in the sideboard for this. We got Subtlety and Flusterstorm, I guess, to bring in. That's about it. Seems like an abysmal matchup, honestly. Especially on the draw. Maybe if we can get like a counter spell or two off, we'll be in a better position. Better not draw any Mishra's Baubles. Maybe it's better to DRC plus Murktide? Don't know if it changes the clock. But it would keep us the Bolt in hand. So we can either make a 5/5 Murktide and a DRC, or we can make a 6/6 Murktide with bolting them. I guess it's pretty similar to have a 5/5 Murktide and a DRC, except that that has the potential to, like, iteration up to more. So, I guess I'm supposed to DRC plus Murktide here. Okay. Well, we lose. Yeah. I guess we can Ragavan dash and hope to hit a Lightning Helix. Yep. Okay. Don't think there's anything I could have done that would have changed the outcome of that game. So I'm going to take the Subtleties in and the Flusterstorms in. And I'm going to pull out Charms because that feels a little too slow. Expressive Iteration probably needs to stay in for having Sorcery. Counter spells feel important. All the removal feels important too. Let me try this. Counterspell feels important. I'll do it like this. I have Artifact to help with Delirium. Don't even know how important Delirium actually is. The Unholy Heats are fine as just shocks that hit creatures. The DRCs, you know, will eventually get themselves up to Delirium anyway, because they dig through the deck so much. feel like turn 1 Ragavan feels important in this matchup. Like, it at least almost always is going to eat a burn spell. Like a lightning bolt, but they won't even always have lightning bolt on 1. Like, it's kind of hard for them to kill a Ragavan on turn 1 unless they specifically have lightning bolt. Maybe Ledger Shredder is... I think I should have cut a Ledger Shredder for a 3rd iteration, maybe. I don't know. This Ledger Shredder looks a lot better than Expressive Iteration. I'll keep this. I'll go turn 1 DRC, turn 2 Ledger Shredder Bobble. Could also leave up on Holy Heat and then go Ledger Shredder Bobble. But I think I like getting down the DRC. We can also apply pressure. Burn isn't the only deck that can apply pressure. And Ledger Shredder blocks creatures pretty well. And I kind of want to dump my hand before like an Eidolon comes down. If I can. I think I'll fetch Island on turn 2 because I kind of want to hit Delirium maybe. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna Unholy Heat and Ragavan. Or I could dash Ragavan and then Unholy Heat. And if I hit like a burn spell, like a bolt or a skewer, I get to... I don't know. I kind of want the Ragavan in play rather than having to pay to dash it every turn. This may be very bad, but I'm going to fetch Shock. I'm going to fetch Shock. And I'm going to cast Ragavan and Unholy Heat the Swift Spear. Get in for 1. I'm saving the Bobble so that I can Shredder plus Bobble. Okay, I think I'll play an island first. If I draw a red spell, I'd like to be able to cast it. Yeah, the other thing I was thinking, like, is if I can force them to kill Ragavan, and then once Ragavan is dead, don't mind if I do. I get the Delirium, so... I'm going to take the hit from the guide. I'm not going to waste my murktide and subtlety on this goblin guide. I think I'm generally happy when they're pointing burn spells at my creatures. Wow, this is quite the baby murktide. Didn't realize how few actual instants and sorceries I had going on here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and swing with the murktide and try and ambush the goblin guide with a subtlety. If they have 2 burn spells, we're just dead, but I think we have to kind of like play a little tricky. Why didn't I subtlety this swift spear? I'm an idiot. I think Pierce is fine, actually. If they had a burn spell, we'd be dead, so I attack. We counterspell whatever they play, and then we kill them. I definitely should have subtletied the Swift Spear, but wow. Got there anyway. Even with that egregiously bad not subtlety on the Swift Spear. I just got so one track on the idea that I was gonna ambush the Goblin Guide. I don't know, Ledger Shredder just lines up well against a deck that's trying to do a bunch of 3 damage stuff. I mean, I think my plan is basically, like, get down a fast Murktide and ride it to victory. I'll keep this. Yeah. Maybe I'm just supposed to mulligan any hand that doesn't have a removal spell on turn 1. Oof. Eidolon's a rough one for us. We're about to deal 4 to ourselves. I don't think this is avoidable, though. Discard DRC. Veil. That in my graveyard. I don't really want another shock land. See what we're up against. Okay, land. If we can draw an island, we can heat the Eidolon and then have up Counterspell. I guess we can always heat the Eidolon and have up Flusterstorm. Subtlety's not a bad one, especially if they try and play another creature, because it'll hurt them to play a creature and won't hurt us to Subtlety it. Well, if they somehow magically have nothing in their hand, we have a chance. I think I just should have mulliganed my hand. I think it just was too slow against burn. Yeah. Seems like a tough matchup. Okay. See everyone next round.